Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be a how I budget my paycheck step by step. So you guys have been asking for this video for quite a while, and so I thought that I would give it to you all today. So the reason the angle is kind of different is because I have to kind of write sideways, like I'm one of those people who has to have like my paper kind of turned to the side. And with my new camera, this is just the best angle to be able to fit everything and still have some good lighting. So we are going to be going through how I get the amount of money I'm going to stuff, how I figure out what's going where, and just my routine and how I go through actually making my budget. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you have any more questions even throughout this, just please feel free to leave them down below and I'll definitely answer them as best as I can. But anyway, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the spread that I will be using is the same one that I always use. If you're interested in how to make this, definitely click the link down below. It'll be a link to Tara Budget's video on how she makes her sinking fund or like cash envelope spreads and stuff like that, and that's definitely where I got this from. I kind of just switched it up a little bit to match my needs. So this is what I'm going to be using today, and as you can see, it is completely empty. So to begin, we're just going to fill in the date. So when I go to my calendar on my phone, this Thursday is going to be the 10th. So I'm just going to go ahead and write December 10th here. So December 10th, 2020. I don't really care about how good this part looks because it's just the date. So the next part we have to fill in is our income. So this is where this video kind of picks up and begins. So super quickly, I want to share that if you guys have not entered my Christmas giveaway, be sure to go watch that video. It'll be linked down below as well, because I'm giving away a planner, a cash envelope wallet, as well as a sinking fund binder. So anyway, as for the income, this is where my hours and stuff comes into play. So this past week I did finish with 15 hours, which means this pay week is going to be like a very small cash stuffing, which kind of stinks, but like it's totally fine. So I made 15 hours this week and I get paid $14 an hour, but after taxes and stuff, I find that it's easiest to just like project my budget on $12 an hour. So what I do is I take the 15 hours that I made and I multiply that by $12, which gives me 180, which means that's what we would be budgeting this week. I do see that it is a little bit of money compared to what I normally do, which is totally fine. The good thing is that whenever I budget under what I make an hour, so let's say we did 15 times the 14 that I actually make, it'd be $210, but that's unrealistic because of taxes and stuff like that, which is why we're gonna go with the 180. The good thing is that I'm under budgeting, like I'm under projecting, so anything that's left or anything that's over the 180 always stays in my checking account as a buffer. So that's where I get my buffer money from. So if anyone was ever wondering that, that's like literally where it comes from. I just under project, and so it allows me to grow my checking account buffer. So another way I get that is like whenever I do get paid through YouTube, sometimes the YouTube check plus my part-time job is just way too much money to actually budget it all out. So I'll choose an amount that feels right for me, and then anything else just stays in there or will go to debt. So when we open this up, we're just going to go ahead and write 180 under income. So that just goes here. So $180. And I always leave it open in my calculator. That way as I'm going through, I can be subtracting as we're filling in some blanks. This is this like next really important step that I'm even trying to get my boyfriend to get a grip on, is that the first thing we always want to fill out in our paycheck spread is our bills, because bills are never going to go away unless you, I don't know, cancel it, or depending on what it is. So if it's debt, of course you want to pay it. If it's a phone bill, like all your bills just need to be paid on time. So that is definitely what I do first. So first we're going to come here to phone bill, which is $25 a week. So we're going to fill that in, and we're going to subtract the 25 over here, which gives us $155 left. So next is going to be my loan, and my credit builder loan is $44 a month, which means I put $11 a week. The good thing is that I'm building this up like separately because I already have my next 2 months worth of payment in my checking account, and so since this paycheck is a smaller one, I am going to choose to not stuff it this week since I am already ahead on any payments that I need to make. So next, if we come down here, I have debt, which is for Best Buy. I do already have my minimum payment for the month in my envelope, which is why I'm going to choose to not stuff it this week. Every other week from now, I do want to still be putting $15 a week towards it just to be ahead. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put 0 because since I do already have my minimum payment and it's a small check, I just don't want to stuff it. So the next thing I do is I pay myself first, so therefore I go to my savings. So our 100 envelope challenge, I know it's super bad, but we've been behind and we have not been stuffing it recently because we plan to make that our goal during this winter break and the summer. So my 52 weeks is the next thing that I stuff, and last week it got 22, which means this week it will be getting $23. So after that is my emergency. The emergency fund is already fully funded with its first $1,000. So I'm not going to start stuffing that again till January, which means it is going to be receiving 0. Then we have retirement. So retirement always gets $7 a week, and I try to never change that just because it's important to me to stay on track for that. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is come back to my calculator, subtract the 23, and then we're going to subtract the $7. Which means we have $125 left. So now I go to my expenses because these are things that, you know, like I need food, I need money for gas, like I need money for groceries and stuff like that. So these numbers are all going to be a little bit different because it is a very small paycheck. I also just thought this was a good week to share this with you all because then you guys can see like what my priorities are when my paychecks are small. So first, what we're going to do is stuff for gas. So since I'm going to be going home again this week, gas is going to be getting $10 because I need to have a good amount in there. The good thing is that I'm going to be stuffing lower amounts this week, but I think my boyfriend said he'll still stuff the same ones. Maybe that's not this week. Maybe it's next week because next week I'm not getting a paycheck at all. So he said that he would go ahead and pick up the slack and stuff the higher amounts for us. Okay, so I have not subtracted the $10 for gas yet, so we're going to go ahead and subtract that really quickly, which means I have $115 left. So next is going to be food. So food is still going to be getting its $20 just because that is an important category for me because we do eat out kind of frequently. So minus 20, which leaves me with 95. Since again it's a smaller paycheck, spending will not be getting anything, my babe's not going to get anything, neither is self-needs, and then groceries I'm just going to give it 10 because since we are going home, we don't have an apartment to like have to buy groceries for anymore. So that puts us at 85, and then fun is also going to be getting $10. So let's go ahead and subtract that as well. So after all of our expenses as well as bills and savings are paid, we do have $75 left. So this $75 is going to be going into all of my sinking funds. So if I wanted to, I could literally give everything $1 and still have money left over, but that's not realistic for me right now. So we're going to go ahead and go through and we're going to first zero everything out. Well, not zero everything out, but what I'm trying to say is that we're going to go through and find the things that don't need to get money at all this week. So for example, taxes doesn't need to be getting stuffed because all of the income I made this week was already taxed. So next we're going to go straight down to entertainment. So entertainment strictly gets fun rollover money, so that's going to always be 0. Next is Christmas. I'm already done with that, so that's also going to get a 0 because it does not need to be getting stuffed. So those are all the things that really just don't get stuffed this week, but now since it is a small paycheck, we're going to go through and put zeros next to things that just aren't important and aren't for our near future. So for example, we're going to put a 0 for Disney because that doesn't need to get anything, and then same thing with travel because that will also not be happening anytime soon. So next are going to be the things that all get $1. So for this, I just go by things that I like that are important to me but that I don't necessarily need a lot of money in. For example, this spending category down here just needs $1 because I don't plan to really buy anything anytime soon. Another one over here is future, so that one can also just get $1 because I also don't need that anytime soon. Next, kitty. So kitty is a fixed expense, or like a fixed sinking fund, because my boyfriend and I are saving up for a cat. So I always put 3 and he always puts 3. So I am going to get that one out of the way super quick because it does need to get stuffed regardless. So now we're at 70, which is an even number, and typically I'll like to keep it even. That way I don't have like sinking funds where I have to put $8 or $7 or $9. If that makes sense, I like to, if I'm going to put more ones, like I want it to be 5. I don't know if that like makes sense. Hopefully it does. So next what we're going to go ahead and do is just kind of go through, and a lot of people ask like how I figure out how much money I put into what sinking funds. Like when it comes to expenses, you kind of just have to do, you know, like based on how you spend. Like I know I spend more on food, so I want to put more there and less in my actual spending envelope. And I know that my car fills up with $20, so I put 10 and my boyfriend puts 10, so that's just what works for us. So as for sinking funds, when I go through and put my $1 bills already and I'm left with the things that I want to get more than $1, now I kind of just go based off priorities. So I know that car maintenance is something that I typically always need money for, so I would probably go ahead and put $10 in that, because for me $10 is a good amount. It's a pretty large amount given that I have a smaller paycheck, and I want to make sure that car maintenance is always taken care of. So minus $10, which will leave us with 60. So next, for something like home, I wouldn't do home just yet because I have categories up here that are more important to me right now. So that one, I don't know what it's going to get yet, so I kind of just leave it to linger. But I do know that I want to put some money in business, because since I have a giveaway going on, I'm saving for shipping, and I'm going to need quite a bit of money if I do have an international winner. So I know that that one is going to need $10. I hope this is kind of helping out in terms of how I choose. Oh crap, what did I do? We had 60, so minus 10. I hope this helps you guys when I explain like why I'm choosing certain amounts, because it kind of just depends on the person. Like I know other people will go based off what their balances were the prior week, but I just kind of go based off what I think I need that week and then go from there. So next is going to be school. School doesn't need too much money just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 5 because I still do want it to grow pretty fast, but it doesn't need like $10. So minus 5. Now we have 45. So next is going to be pet needs. I know that my animals are going to need quite a bit of things when I head home, so I'm going to go ahead and put $10 in there because they haven't had much recently, and I did just spend whatever I did have in there. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 categories left with $35. So what I could do is give everything $7 and then just make it even. So that could be a route that you take if that's what you want to do with your leftover money. Or you can again just go through by priority. So like for example, let's see, what do we have? We have new car, my babe, gifts, electronics, and home. So electronics is kind of like another debt envelope for me, so I know I want to build that up, and we're going to go ahead and give that the $5 that we have lingering. So minus 5, so now we're left with 30. So next we have, what do we have? Gifts and home. So these I'm going to split 5 and 5 because new car and Jordan I would like to get more than $5. So gifts is going to be getting 5, and then home is going to get 5. So we're going to subtract another 10. So now I'm left with 20, and I have Jordan and new car. So if you guys know, I am trying to like save for a new car very strictly, but I really want to start that like in the beginning of January. Right now I'm just doing what I can when I can. And so my babe, he is pretty good on Christmas gifts, so I think it's going to be fair if I just split 10 and 10 because they're both in good places right now. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of the 20. We're going to put 10 in new car. So minus 10, and then we're going to do the last 10 into my babe's envelope. So now we have $0 left, and we don't have any more blanks in terms of different envelopes that we have to fill for the week. So therefore, I did budget out my entire paycheck. And the reason I'm not zero based is because, like we mentioned in the beginning, the 180 isn't going to be my full paycheck. So whatever amount I write here is never what I'm actually getting paid. It's always a couple dollars less, but this is zeroed out amongst my entire budget. So that is how I budget my paycheck, you guys. I really hope that this video did help somehow, some way. Of course, if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to leave them down below and I'll definitely answer them to the best of my ability. Again, if you're interested in this budget sheet, just go ahead and watch the link down below for Tara Budget's video. It's a tutorial on how to create it yourself. And if you ever want any more of these, or if you want me to be this in-depth every week for a budget with me, then definitely just let me know down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.